Moments. New details today in the scandal over the IRS targeting Tea Party and conservative groups in the run-up to the 2012 election. A former top donor from Mitt Romney claiming that he and his business were subjected to the IRS's audits not one, not two, but 3 times, and investigated for a 4th. This comes as we're hearing a growing number of reports about what are being dubbed retaliatory audits. The IRS denies that it does that, but there's growing evidence that it may. Joining me now, Idaho-based businessman Frank Vandersloot. He served as the national co-chair of the Romney campaign's finance committee. He's credited with blowing the whistle on some of the agency's ways. And there's no doubt in your mind, is there, sir, that the audits you faced, the 3 and the threat of the 4th, were in retaliation to your political activity?
I think that it's really important to separate what we fear from what we actually know. And I don't actually know that the audits were in direct relationship to what happened on what's become known as the enemies list that President Obama's campaign put out a little over a year ago. But I do know that on April 20, 2012, President Obama's campaign listed 8 individuals out of the hundreds of thousands of donors to Mitt Romney. They decided that the most important thing they could do was to point out just a handful of them and watch what happens to them. And that's what they did. They sorted out 8 of us, listed us on their website, on the campaign website, and then said things about us like that we've been on the wrong side of the law. That we have
I want to
less
show it
than
to the viewers.
reputable
We've got
records.
it. Let's put it up on the screen because this is from the Obama team's campaign operation during the campaign, and there it is highlighted in yellow in case the viewers can't read it. Let's see. It says a closer look at Romney's donors, I'm trying to read it from very far away, reveals a group of wealthy individuals with less than reputable records. Wealthy individuals with less than reputable records. That's you, Frank.
And on the wrong side of the law, they said later. So there's some similarities, isn't there, to some of the other accusations we've been hearing today on the wrong side of the law. So therefore, yeah, a target.
Let's just start there. Let's just start there. The feeling you had as a businessman who's done nothing other than make your own way in this country, in seeing the president's campaign team call you less than reputable and suggest that you've had trouble with the law. Forget the audits that followed, okay? Just that. Your reaction when that happened.
Yeah, at that time we didn't know we were going to be audited, but at the time I thought, this is going to be bad. I mean, people don't like to do business with somebody who's a crook. And indeed, we got some phone calls, lots of them. We lost some customers because of it. And then, of course, everything reversed when the news picked up this is the enemies list, and everybody came to our rescue.
So. All right, but then the audits start happening, and there are 3, and the threat of a 4th. And you know, you're a wealthy man. Did you call your lawyers and say, I'm worried this is linked to my donations to Mitt Romney. I was listed on this campaign website as somebody who's less than reputable, and now the IRS comes calling. You know, what can we find out? Can we get to the bottom of that?
I didn't. You know, the first one came, and I thought, well, we're going to be audited. And then the second one came, and then the third one came, and then I wonder if it's not related. I mean, it's one after another, after another, after another. So, but I don't know that they're related. That's the problem. You don't know.
Just a suspicion.
But I do know this. President Obama's, his SWAT team, his campaign, put a target on our backs. And then you wonder if there's any relationship when people start shooting. Mm-hmm. You wonder.
Do you think of that when you watch the IRS scandal emerging today? Because, you know, obviously we know conservative groups got targeted, but the White House says they had nothing to do with it.
Well, I hope they dig deep. I hope they dig really deep. I think it's important that we don't draw conclusions, but I hope that they just lay one layer back after the other and find out who did what. And who told him to do what, and see where it all lies.
Have you talked to the other 7? There were the 8 wealthy individuals with, quote, less than reputable records. I repeat it mockingly to show you that there's no evidence of it sitting here with Mr. Vandersloot, but that was the charge levied. In any event, have you spoken with the other 7?
I reached out to every one of them. 4 of them were so concerned they didn't want to talk to anybody. They had been advised, keep your head down, don't let this fester. That was like a year ago, so I didn't. But 3 of them talked to me. Had
they been audited?
I'm not privileged to say, but I will say this: I'm not the only one that was audited. That's all I can say.
Is there a reluctance to speak out, a fear of further possible retribution?
Not by me. I don't know about anybody else. I can speak for myself. I mean, they can do what they want to do. I think truth seeks its own level.
But why are you the only one who came forward, do you think, out of those 7, having spoken to some of the others?
It's a harrowing experience to have. I mean, it affects your family. It affects your business. You have to answer all these questions. We had to write emails. We had to do conference calls. We had to explain things. And then your kids and your grandkids go to school and they get picked on by other kids because their parents said that you're involved with whatever. Mm-hmm. In my case, wrong side of the law, I've had a speeding ticket. That's it. I've never had anything. And I don't think any of the other people did too. But people, when it's the president speaking, he has credibility. Mm-hmm. People believe stuff right from the get-go. So.
And I know it cost you 80 grand in lawyer fees and audit fees or accounting fees. You're a rich man, so that's, I mean, it's not nothing, but it's not, completely unaffordable. But this, if this happens to somebody who doesn't have the means that you have, it could be a career ender. I mean, it could be a business ender.
Well, that's what I worry, not only about the IRS things, but the things that you've been talking about just over the last few minutes. People are going to interpret, I fear, that you have to be really careful because somebody's going to come after you. And so keep your head down, keep quiet, don't speak out. I believe the opposite. I believe the way to stop it is to speak out and to take your hits and keep speaking out. Truth seeks its own level. The truth, if people will dig for the truth, then everybody who's been on the right side of the law will be vindicated, I believe.
I know right after this happened that you were listed as, one of these 8. Somebody started snooping around in town looking at your divorce records. I mean, they were going that deep, looking at your personal information, your divorce records?
They were looking at everything they could find out. 11 days after this list came out, somebody who purported at the time to be an employee of the federal government from the Permanent Committee on Investigations was going through through our local courthouse, finding everything they could find on me. I'm curious. I'm hoping that will be discovered. What was he doing there? Why was he there? Why was he investigating me? What did it have a relationship to do with this list that had come out 11 days before? I'd like to know.
Before I let you go, if you have a message for Barack Obama, what is it?
We need you. We need you to lead us in a good direction. We need you to not intimidate us or try to intimidate us. We need a good leader. We need great leadership that's going to have moral character. And we need examples of that. And this idea that we can be intimidated because we disagree. I want him to be successful in his presidency. We all want the same thing. We want a great, prosperous America. The Democrats do, the Republicans do, the conservatives, the liberals, everyone. We argue about who is going to be the quarterback and what plays to run. But just because we don't agree on who should be the quarterback doesn't make us the enemy. We're not the enemy. We ought to come together and make good arguments rather than to try to destroy the messengers. Let the messengers speak. Let them argue. Let's listen. Let the best arguments win. But let's not take the tactics of trying to kill off the messengers. I don't mean literally, but figuratively. That's the America that got us to where we are. And let's go back to that methodology. That's what I would say.
Frank, thank you. All the best to you and your family.
Thank you.